The marathon is continuing. We've got a very long way to go, and I am excited to go there. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Civilization VI, Rise and Fall. We're diving right back in a few turns ahead of where we left off before. Not much has changed. Things are still looking very bright for us. Last time we set Anten and Navario free, and we became their suzerain because we saved them. We did burn a lot of their farms and their libraries in the process, but you can't make an omelet without burning a few books. Am I right or am I right? I think I'm right. So, things are going well for us. We just finished our first and only government plaza, which means we now have access to some new buildings that are pretty interesting. They each have a lot of benefits that I'm not going to read off right away, but they each prioritize different aspects of your civilization, and you choose them based on the playstyle that you want. I'm not going to build one for a while because I really want to have walls in my cities. So for now, we're going to let that sit, but just know the government plaza is going to be really cool once we start upgrading it even further. So the next thing that we've got to do is we've got to appoint a new governor. And Pengala, he's a gangster right now. He's given us extra science and culture in the city that he's appointed to, and I could upgrade him to make him even more gangster than he already is. That's not what I'm going to do. I love the idea of Amani, the diplomat, because what you can do is you can assign her as to a city-state instead of one of your cities, and she acts as two envoys, which will get you bonuses. So I'm gonna recruit her, and I'm gonna send her to Stockholm. All right, and by doing that, as soon as she gets there, it's going to take her 5 turns to travel across the land. As soon as she gets there, she's going to act as 2 envoys, and I believe that will give us enough to have her as the suzerain. We'll find out, though. We'll find out in 5 turns if she'll be the suzerain of Stockholm. Either way, though, we're going to invest a lot of resources into Stockholm and Antananarivo. I'm working on completing the quest for these guys at Stockholm. I need to train 2 galleys. That's going to happen very shortly out of Valo City. So, as of right now, we are maneuvering our soldiers back to our land. It's going to take them a while to get there. As you can see, Macedon has sent yet another settler. Unfortunately, though, we can't steal it because we just declared peace with him. So, for now, he's going to get by with another egregious mistake. But anyway, on a different note, I'm really enjoying this marathon game of Civ. I'm willing to say that this has been the most fun that I've ever had with Civ.
People who cannot find time for recreation are sooner or later to find time for illness.
And it's due in large part to the fact that this is a marathon game. Never did I think I would enjoy playing a civilization game in which it feels like it's never going to end. Before I continue with that, I'm looking at the policy cards right now, and I'm thinking I'm going to switch over to Insulae. We've built a decent amount of builders, but I imagine there's still a lot of tiles that I need to improve. Like I could put some farms over here, or better yet, those will probably be districts. Yeah, I've improved a lot of tiles to the point where I don't think I'm going to make another builder anytime soon. I might make a settler sometime in the near future, but I think I can swap out that card, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to plop Insulae in the place of Ilkum, so this is going to give us 1 housing to all cities that have at least 2 specialty districts, and that is very soon to be all of my cities, so their population cap is going to go up to 9. I believe every city that I have has a population cap of 9. We also just finished the construction technology, which means we can make siege towers, but who cares? We're not fighting anyone right now. The thing I'll go for next is ironworking. And actually, I made a huge misplay. I should have switched another policy card over to this one, Maritime Industries, because I'm getting ready to build some galleys. So I think I'm going to have to pay for that. It's a little bit unfortunate, or I could wait a couple of extra turns and not have to pay. We'll see. Depends how I'm feeling. But the idea of a marathon game is truly enjoyable, because we're at turn 195 right now, going into 196, and normally that would mean we're somewhere in maybe the Renaissance era or a little bit further than that. But normally you're pretty far along technologically, but we're still messing around with cavemen stuff. We've got clubs and arrows, and we're basic bitches at the moment. And while that does feel a little bit weird, it feels a lot more like a journey. Much like the journey that those lovely police officers are going on outside of my building. My goodness. It never stops, does it? Hey. The rulers of Stockholm bow to Scotland, who became their first suzerain. That is amazing. So we've got 2 suzerains under our belt, and that must mean Amani has been established. Yes, it does. So look at that. We got her icon right next to the city, and we're getting a very beefy suzerain bonus from Stockholm. This is one of the best in the game, I think. Your districts with a your district, yeah. Can I not read today? Your districts with a building provide +1 great person points of their corresponding type. So if we have a campus district with a library, we get an additional great person point, and that goes for every single type of building. So that's really awesome, and that means our library over here has become even more beneficial than it already is. This city is currently generating 15 science per turn, and we could beef that up even further. And I think we just might. I could get rid of, like, this one tile right here is only giving us 1 food and 2 production, which is decent. But I wouldn't necessarily mind taking that down a peg. So now we're getting 18.2 science from these guys. This tile is no longer operational. It's just a visual bug. It'll correct itself in a moment. There we go. I think I have a mod installed that's probably causing that bug, but it's no big deal. Either way, I think this is going to be the right decision in the long run. Getting our science to advance a little bit faster, that'll get us access to some new and exciting things that will benefit us greatly. The industrial zone is one of the strongest buildings that you can get, especially if you get one early on. It greatly increases your production. The only downside is we don't have many cities with super optimal placement for the industrial zone. That's a building that you want to surround with mines, so it gets a lot of adjacency bonuses, but we don't have many mine-centric cities, but it doesn't matter. Oh, shit. A lot of times when people send me trade offers, they'll put an offer that they're going to not accept anything besides that. But we've been to war with Macedon. We've destroyed one of their cities, liberated back to a city-state. We've been whooping his ass since day 1. And he currently wants to trade for some amber because the only luxury resource that he has is tea. Now I want some of that tea. And I also want some gold in return and open borders. So he's giving me a little bit of everything in exchange for not that much. And I'm absolutely going to take the offer. Boom. Maybe we could become friends after being mortal enemies for thousands of years. I finally become friends with Macedon for a short time, and then we decimate him. The ultimate betrayal. We'll see how it goes. But this is a little bit of a dead zone, though, as far as what we're building, because I made a slight misplay. So we're going to skip a couple of turns, and then when we come back, we will start doing some exciting stuff.
We can no more have exact religious thinking without theology than exact mensuration and astronomy without mathematics, or exact iron-making without chemistry.
Okay, we just finished another component of the civics tree, which means we get to change up our policy cards again. So this time I'm not going to make the mistake. I'm going to switch Agogi over to maritime industries, which is going to give us additional production towards classical and ancient era naval units. In other words, the galleys. No, confirm the policy changes. Yes. So as soon as we finish building this monument in Valo City, we're going to build 2 galleys, and that's going to, well, one of them, those galleys, is going to complete a quest in Stockholm, and the second galley is going to trigger the Eureka for shipbuilding. Now, originally, those galleys were going to take, I believe, 11 turns to make. That policy is cutting it down to 6. So that's tremendously beneficial. I like that a lot. I'll start the research of shipbuilding so that things will kind of line up naturally. They'll both finish at the same time. The distribution of our people in the city is pretty solid. There's nothing really that needs to be changed. I like this. We are running a bit low on food. Our growth is not until another 58 turns, and we definitely have the housing to spare. We should be able to go up to 8 without any problems. But there's not too much we can do about that at the moment. So we'll just continue working on that monument for now and not worry too much about it. I want to get my populations as big as possible. Just more population is always a good thing. There's really no downsides to that. And we also finished a barracks in Free City, and I'm going to shift over to producing walls for these guys because they are the frontline defense against a full-blown Macedonian retaliation. And I'm still nervous about that, even though I shouldn't be. Anybody scared of Macedon? I'm certainly not. Hey, look at that. He just wants to make deals. It is very nice having friends. We just get to trade resources. Look at this. Accept the deal. Alright, so I'm going to try my hardest to maintain a positive relationship with the Indian Empire for the entirety of this marathon game. If at any point it goes sour, we'll destroy him. That's going to be the deal. But it definitely feels like it's going to be very beneficial to have a friend because, especially with the way Robert the Bruce works and his amenities, because the more amenities we have, the better production we have in science, etc. So having somebody to trade with constantly is going to be very beneficial to us. All right, and to wrap things up for today, and I know this was a little bit of a shorter one, we're going to send out a trade route from Free City to Stolen City. This is not the most optimal trade route in terms of the resources that we're going to gain from it. Not in My House gives us 3 food, 2 production. Stolen City has only given us 1 food, 1 production, but I would like to have the road leading between these 2 cities to expedite travel for whenever we should need to travel. So that's going to wrap it up for today. It was a little bit of a quick one, but don't worry. There's plenty more Civilization to come. Plenty more stories to tell. I got plenty of stories from all my miscellaneous times in Starbucks and traveling around New York City, etc., etc. A lot of stuff happens. So look, don't worry. There's always going to be more Civilization Rise and Fall coming in the future. Because look at this, man. We've completed 209 turns, and that's taken us 10 episodes. A marathon game lasts roughly 1,500 turns. There's going to be a lot more episodes in the future. I'm not going to do the math right now, but you can do the math and figure out for yourself that you're going to have a lot of this in the future. So, look, last thing I'll say is for all the people that are enjoying this, I appreciate it very much because I do enjoy just playing Civilization and rambling for a little while. You know, if this helps you sleep, then that's great. I watch plenty of YouTubers as well just to fall asleep, even if that's not what the content was intended for. You know, there's some, I'll tell you the weirdest thing that I do before we close out. There's this little thing called ASMR, and I don't know if I ever talked about this before. If I have, if you heard it before, who cares? If you haven't heard it before, you're going to hear it now. This thing called ASMR. I don't know what it stands for. I should probably look it up. Hold on. This is how things get fucked up, right? Is because I'm being real sloppy right now, not paying attention to all the minutia of my city while I'm looking up what ASMR stands for. Okay, ASMR is a term used for an experience characterized by a static-like or tingling sensation on the skin that typically begins on the scalp and moves down the back of the neck and upper spine. Blah, 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 blah. ASMR signifies the subjective experience of low-grade euphoria characterized by a combination of positive feelings and a distinct static-like tingling sensation on the skin. It is most commonly triggered by specific acoustic or visual stimuli and less commonly by intentional attention control. Okay, so essentially, it's supposed to be like drugs without the drugs, right? And there's this whole community subset of YouTube videos where you turn it on, and typically it's an attractive girl between the age of 18 and 27, and she's just staring at the camera. She's got a very high quality microphone, usually a Blue Yeti. Let's not get out of control. It's a Blue Yeti most of the time, and they're just making noises. Right? They're just like, okay, well, I shouldn't probably skip over this. We just finished our boat and we got a milestone thingy for it. There we go. The crew of the galley from Scotland invent the sailor's yarn after their first sea voyage. So that's pretty exciting. We got +2 error score for that. Oh, I think we're actually in... No, we're approaching a golden age. We're getting pretty close to hitting a golden age for the next age. So we've got a little bit of time remaining to get 7 more points. Hopefully we can reach there. But in any case, we've built our first galley. I'm going to change my science production. I said we were going to end like 5 minutes ago. We're still going. I'm going to change my production over from shipbuilding to mathematics, and I'm going to produce another galley. The boost after we complete this galley will be enough to finish shipbuilding. So it's a video where a hot chick between the age of 18 to 27 is sitting in front of typically a high definition camera, just making noises, tapping on shit, just tapping shit, typing, whatever. And that sound is supposed to make you tingle. That shit don't ever make me tingle, but I put it on my TV to go to sleep. To sleep, in quotation. No, I don't jerk off to ASMR videos. That's way, come on, let's be real. No. I can build a watermill. All right, we're gonna start building a watermill not in my house. Right, yeah, I think ASMR YouTube videos is probably the weirdest thing that I watch. And no, I do not masturbate to ASMR videos, but I think a lot of people in the comments section do. It's probably the funniest thing that I've ever seen on a YouTube comment, and this is definitely where we're gonna end, because it's not gonna get any better than this. It was on an ASMR video. It was just a girl on the camera, again, between the age of 18 and 27, and she was just making kissing noises for about 30 minutes. So she was just going for 30 minutes straight. And one of the top comments was, "My dick is so hard right now that I could use it to cut diamonds." And it makes me laugh every time I think about that. So, look, we went off the rails a little bit, but that's what Civilization 6 is all about. That's what, I don't call them uncut videos anymore, just because I just don't, but I still think of it that way. You know, I just say whatever comes to mind, have a little fun, ramble about random stuff while playing Civilization or whatever game I happen to be playing. So, again, I'll say it one more time. The name of the game is Civilization 6. The name of the channel is iBluairJgR, Gaming for Comedy. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you feel about watching weird stuff. Let me know what your weird indulgences are. I don't judge. I told you about mine. Now you tell me about yours. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.